Hi, I'm Mike Perlman, the camera editor at TechnoBuffalo.com. Every once in a while I get to play with something special. Like this guy, the Pentax 645D medium format DSLR. What the heck is medium format photography? Let's find out in this review. Remember those huge boxy accordion cameras that they used for portraits of your grandparents? That was most likely a medium format camera. Now the technical term for a medium format camera is a camera that uses film that's larger than traditional 35 millimeters. The most popular sizes were 6 by 7 centimeters, 6 by 6 centimeters, and 6 by 4.5 centimeters. Hence the Pentax 645D. When you translate that to digital, the Pentax 645D has a sensor that's larger than a full-frame 35mm sensor, which you can find on cameras like the Canon EOS 5D Mark II, the Nikon D4 that was just announced. The 645D sensor has a 40 megapixel resolution. Now those are some huge pictures, huge file sizes. Now it's time for the non-technical definition of a medium format camera. It's a big ass camera. This thing is huge. It's so big that it even has a designated tripod mount for vertical shooting when you're doing portraits. It also has a dual SD card slot, which is very handy. Buttons are strewn across the body of the Pentax 645D because there's so much real estate to play with. It's a bulky, heavy camera as well. I need a backpack to hold this thing because none of my camera bags are big enough. It's going to put a strain on your arms when you're out shooting for a full day. Now the other thing about medium format cameras is the price. They're not your average point and shoot. The Pentax 645D retails for $10,000 for the body only. With the lens, it'll cost you about $11,500. Now if you're balking at that price, it's a drop in the bucket compared to Hasselblad's, which can range to up to $43,000 to $44,000. Now Mamiya makes cameras that are in the Pentax's price range, but a lot of them have to still rely on the digital back to be bought. Pentax is the only consumer-oriented manufacturer who's released a medium format camera, and it is actually priced pretty competitively. Now I know it may seem big and unwieldy, and the price is enough to send you running into the hills with fear. Shooting with a medium format camera is one of the most rewarding things in photography. For one, this thing has an unbelievably shallow and versatile depth of field, and that's because the sensor is so giant. Now of course depth of field is relative to how close you are to the subject. So when I was closer, I was able to focus on slivers. I mean literal slivers of images because the depth of field is so shallow. Yet when I was far away and shooting landscape, this camera snaps away and is able to give me a wider depth of field. Pentax sent me the f2.8 55mm prime lens. It's a very nice lens. However, I did experience a little purple fringing along some highly contrasted edges, and that's something that was a bit alarming to me. For the rest of the camera's image quality, it's absolutely fantastic. It's on par with 35mm full-frame giants. The detail, the color richness, and the color accuracy, just fantastic. The low light quality, even though the ISO range is 100 to 1600, it's okay. The sensor is huge, it soaks up a ton of light. The difference between RAW and JPEG is almost night and day as far as the detail and the sharpness and the low light sensitivity. I almost got 2 to 3 stops of additional exposure just shooting in RAW. So if you shoot with a medium format camera, please shoot in RAW. It's a requirement. I order you to shoot in RAW with this camera. If you could master your camera controls and if you could master your lighting, the Pentax 645D is one of the most rewarding cameras to shoot with. I found the autofocus to be quite accurate. It has a decent metering mode. White balance is fully customizable. The interface was intuitive and easy to get around. The camera also offers built-in highlight and shadow control, though I found it was unnecessary. Especially most people who buy this camera are going to be taking advantage of RAW manipulation in Adobe Camera Raw, or I use Adobe Lightroom. One of my favorite things about shooting with the Pentax 645D was the giant mirror box that would open up and then slam down upon the sensor after I took the picture, as if it was slaying 40 million megapixels in all its glory. Not many people shoot with medium format cameras. We're talking about professionals here, professional wedding photographers, professional magazine shoots, and eccentric hobbyists with lots of money to burn. The Pentax 645D, if you're in the market for a medium format camera, should not be overlooked. So if you've already been perusing the Mamayas or the Leicas, I really recommend looking at the Pentax 645D. At least give it a shot. And be sure to check out the full review with tons of image samples from the Pentax 645D at technobuffalo.com. Until next time, I'm Mike Perlman, and I'll see you guys later.